Here are 8 things I absolutely will not waste my money on. Here are 8 things that I would absolutely not waste my money on despite earning a reasonable amount of money. First one is branded clothes. I still buy a lot of my clothes from Primark. I got these particular t-shirts online, and it was like a pack of, I don't know, £5 a t-shirt for a pack of 5 or something like that. And so I just don't walk around in branded clothes at all. And if I ever do buy anything branded, I'll usually go Vinted first. I bought a couple of hoodies and polo shirts last year where I just bought them secondhand from Vinted, but I will not walk into your local department store and drop £100 or whatever it costs these days for a polo shirt with a tiny little logo on, because for me it all feels like the same quality and it's just not worth the effort or the money. It feels like a waste of money. Second thing I will not waste my money on is buying a daily coffee. Now, I'm lucky that I get to work remotely full time, and so I'm not tempted as much as someone doing a commute on a train every single day, but it is a very, very quick way to rack up a good amount of money by having that daily coffee on your way to work. You're looking at £3 to £5 a day, which is £15 to £25 a week, and that sort of money could be invested to be a great deal of money in the future. Again, I'm fortunate enough to work from home, and I know not everyone is, but if I were to have to commute again, I would certainly take my own coffee from home, and I just drink instant coffee at home, and I occasionally treat myself to kind of a bag, and I've got a French press, but for the most part I drink instant coffee or tea, and I will not waste my money, even though I've got a Costa about 2 minutes away. The third thing I will not waste my money on is credit card interest. Now, I know not everyone has the luxury to be able to use their credit card and pay it off every single month if you get into financial difficulty. But if you get together yourself an emergency fund and then only use your credit card on spending that you know you can clear in full every single month, they can be a great tool. And how I got into financial difficulty previously, which I've done videos on, was too many credit cards with interest-free periods that then ran out, and then I couldn't afford the repayments. Credit card interest should be the amount you have to pay should be illegal. It can run into the 30s, potentially even 40% on some of the real bad ones, and it is a bad place to be. And so please only get or use a credit card if you can clear every single month, and that is what I do now, and I will never pay credit card interest again. Fourth thing is extended warranties. Now, most tech purchases will try and flog you an extended warranty, but I tend to buy all of my technology online, and what that does is give you a little bit of a guarantee through the distance selling regulations, which I used years and years ago, where I bought a TV and it was about 3 or 4 years down the line, something went wrong with it. I was able to enact my distance selling regulation or rights or whatever it is, and they had to come and fix it. And if they couldn't have fixed it, they'd have had to replace it, because every item that you buy online that's covered by this tends to have a kind of lifetime, and if anything happens within that lifetime, it is the manufacturer's responsibility to get that sorted, or the retailers. I don't remember, don't quote me on that, but I would never buy an extended warranty for that very reason. The fifth thing I would never waste my money on is a brand new car. The minute you drive that brand new car off of the forecourt or it gets delivered to your home, you lose thousands and thousands of pounds. Now, I get the pull to drive a new car, and so I drive a car which is 4 years old, and it was 3 years old when I bought it, it's 5 years old now, and it was 4 years old when I bought it, and most of the heavy depreciation has gone by then. I think it was around 30,000 new. I bought it at 4 years old with 20 or 30,000 miles on it, and it was £13,000. And so I've already, if I'd have owned that from new, yes, I'd have had 4 years of driving out of it, but it would have cost me £17,000, which feels ridiculous. Nobody really needs to be driving a brand new car. The only exception to that is if maybe you've got a company car or you run a limited company, you could buy a brand new kind of EV, electric vehicle, that would make tax efficient sense for you, but I would never waste money on buying a brand new car personally, but may consider it via my company for that very reason of tax efficiency. Number 6 is buying a brand new iPhone every single year. Now, yes, I currently have the latest model, the iPhone 16 Pro Max or whatever it is, which I think is the current top spec model. But before that, I had the iPhone 12, and so that was a 4-year gap in terms of phones. And before my iPhone 12, I had the iPhone SE, which was the original iPhone SE, not even the 2020 refresh. And so I've just never spent money on a brand new phone on a regular basis. Back when I was in my late teens, when mobile phones were all the rage, you'd get an upgrade every year. Even on those contracts, you only get an upgrade every couple of years now, and I don't have a formal contract. I have a SIM only deal, and I purchased my phone outright, and I will keep that 16 Pro Max probably for another 2 to 3 years and try and get at least a 4-year stretch out of it to make it worthwhile. It was £1,000 phone, give or take, and so £250 a month, a year, or £20 a month on a phone feels like a reasonable expense if I can get it to last me at least 4 years. The 7th thing I will not waste my money on is branded medicine. Now, I suffer from hay fever this time of year. Today's been pretty good, but when drugs come out, first and foremost, they tend to have like this exclusivity right. And so there's a new hay fever drug, or newish, called fexofenadine, and only one brand could sell it at the time. And so I was paying about £7 or £8 for a box of, I don't know, 7 to 10 tablets. 12 months later, when I assume the exclusivity deal runs out, or the market gets flooded with alternative brands, and now I can go to Home Bargains and buy 30 tablets for £3 or £4, and it just makes sense. Same with ibuprofen, same with paracetamol. You can literally check a code on the back of the medicine box, and it tells you the specific code for that particular drug, and the alternative box or the alternative brand box will have that same code on it, meaning it is exactly the same content, but you're paying for the brand instead. The 8th and final thing, and it's fairly bespoke, is I will not waste money on watches. So your tags, your Rolexes and stuff, I just don't see the point. Up until my birthday just gone, I didn't even have a watch. My wife bought me the latest Apple watch, the Apple Watch 10 I think it's called, but up until then I didn't really wear them. I tried to build a small watch collection, but we're talking £50-60 kind of dress watches, which looked really nice, but they were cheap tat really, and I certainly wouldn't want to waste, you know, 5, 10, 15,000 pounds on a timepiece. I'd be too scared to wear it out, too scared it was going to get damaged, and that for me doesn't feel like a great use of money. And so watches are the 8th and final thing I would not waste my money on. Tell me in the comments below what you wouldn't waste your money on, and let me know if I've missed anything. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm trying to grow the channel to 1,000 subs by the end of the year, and I will need you to do that. Thanks for watching.